Ceann Comhairle, a month ago today, I think the images that flashed across our screens and when transmitted through social media left us all feeling really cold, and also, I think, kind of anxious about what happened. What was this all about? Looking at local people moving through rubble with their bare hands, local contractors moving machinery in and refusing to stop working until they completed the rescue operation was reminiscent of something we're familiar seeing in Palestine, in Ukraine, in Yemen, and indeed in our own troubled past. They were scenes that we would have not got used to, but would have been frequent enough. But here, something really, really tragic, really desperate, really unusual had happened in the beautiful county of Donegal, and there could be no contrast greater than the scene at Creeslough with the absolute beauty of the local environment around it. I want to pay credit to the first responders, to the local people and to the frontline workers who later on helped with all of those injured and all of those killed. I think it says a lot about humanity and about what human beings are capable of when you see such a brilliant response to such a really dreadful tragedy. I understand that the counselling services that were offered to the local people have been accessed over 200 times since, and that the HSE are expecting a surge in the demand for these services in the lead up to Christmas, which is perfectly understandable. Christmas is a time for family, for joy and for togetherness, and it's going to be very, very tough on them. So I think all of our thoughts should be with the family and friends, and indeed those who are injured and those who ended up in hospital or maybe still are in hospital or may have to continue to attend hospitals. I think we should remind ourselves that the sort of trauma that they're going to have to live with is very, very deep indeed. And anyone who may have heard Fergal Keane this morning on the radio talking about the PTSD that he has suffered and how he's attempted to grapple with it over the many years as a war correspondent could be very moved by his advice, and that was never feel that you're alone and don't give up searching for acceptance and peace. And I think that will be that'll be inspiring to the families in the next period. I certainly hope so, and particularly to the survivors and those who are injured. Those of us who know, and many of us do in here, the families and survivors of the Stardust fire, although very, very different circumstances, will understand how important it is to be remembered, not to be forgotten, and to have closure on a really dreadful tragedy. This abrupt and untimely ending of life for these 10 people, there's nothing can compare to it, and really and truly our hearts have to go out to them. And as the month's mind masses take place all over Donegal over the next couple of days, we should remember Shauna Flanagan Garvey and her father Robert, Catherine O'Donnell and her son James, Leona Harper, Jessica Gallagher, James O'Flaherty, Martin McGill, Martina Martin and Hugh Kelly. And I think not to be forgotten is terribly important, but also to be fully supported by all the services that can be available to them. So, Céad Míle Slán Lo agus Oireachtas go mé an anam.